We're live now. Everything's good. Yo, people, this is Fit Bully Kills, aka T Fit, here with Rudy, aka Authentic Bulls. I originally have my girl when I started back up. She's literally laying right behind me. I got him. I got her from him. He's out of Florida. Go ahead and tell him about your program, man. What's your goal? What your vision is? Who you are?
Well, my vision is basically I want to have consistency of confirmation. Who I am, I'm just an average Joe. I work a 9 to 5. I fell in love with the breed when I was 7 years old, and from then I just followed it until, you know, I guess today, But my goal is just to, have a consistency of a pedigree, of a dog, of a bloodline, But it's just also the look. I wanna concentrate on having that right conformation, that right structure. From the tip of the nose to all the way to the tip of the tail. I'm talking about front end, rear end, muzzle, everything from the whole anatomy of the whole dog. That's my goal. I want to also add nice lean muscle on that frame. I don't want it to be so extreme, so exaggerated. Like some out are out today.
Yeah.
But I want to be very proportioned, very I want a sculpture, something like bodybuilding stuff, but more in the world of the dogs.
So
But it,
you like XLs as well. What got you into the XLs? I know you like the big dog thing, man. What got you on that XL kick? Cause your girl, your foundation girl, she's just a regular sized dog per se.
well, what got me into it, it was just how they were big, but they were also very mobile. You know, I saw a lot of dogs that were very, unique in size and in mobility. I also, I'll be honest, I fell in love with the Bossy blood. Bossy created some real good specimens that till today amaze me. You know, and and that's something that um, I like to do maybe in the future. And do something that any when you see my dogs, you'll be like, oh, that's authentic bullies. That you recognize the brand, you recognize the value in the blood, and the hard work.
So your goal when you say branding and I want to get into this lightly, especially with you coming from a space of sales. I think me and one of the other guys were talking the other day, and social media has boosted the value of all these dogs that we've all gotten into, right? And the prices not only are outrageous, but now there's almost a technique to building your brand via social media to improve visually so that they can financially be willing to pay that 30 rack for a dog. And before, coming from a pit bull space, you can find a pit bull for 150, 350, 500, nothing. Now they're selling dogs the first pick for $10,000, $30,000. So, what are some things that you would recommend people do to build their brand, and what are you doing to build your brand in a way that one day it'll be recognizable, like Bossy? Because I'm with you 100%. I think Kat over there at Bossy Kennels definitely figured it out, did it right. She's doing it right. I think DDK, he understood something early on with, some people, for instance, don't always agree with his dogs or the style of something, but from a branding, videography, episode, partnering with the right people, he just keeps doing what he's doing, which keeps him here, visible per se. Whereas everybody else is like, I just hate him, but okay, we'll get your team and I'll produce him. I'll produce him not just on the dogs, but just in general in terms of content, because content's king. So, what would you recommend people do to build their brand? What are you doing, or are you going to do to build your brand in a way that people recognize authentic bullies worldwide?
Well, basically, first and foremost, I'm try to be as picky as possible. And by that, what I mean is just what I bring, what blood I bring to my yard. Even when I do bring a blood to my yard, which I haven't been, done this for a while. I just, been messing with my dog, my original dog, and some bossy blood. I study it. You know, I stay in touch with, everybody I sold the dog, or anybody that has a dog that I bred, and I go see the dog if I can. There's some dogs that are a little too far, but I study them. I study, what my vision is. Like I said, confirmation. I study the development of their tails, the development of their rear end, the development of their front end, the development of the shape of the head, and it's something that I'm in love with. So it it fuels me. That being said, moving forward, I want to add more blood, but with a similar look that I envision. Something that complements what I'm trying to do. So I'm in search to add another blood right now,
Yeah.
but it's just it's not something that I'm trying to do impulsively or overnight. It's something that I want to take my time. I want to study. There's certain dogs that I want to breed with, but I want to go see them in person.
Yeah.
Because pictures, can tell so much. Videos also, videos can tell a little bit more. But in person is another different thing. When I first saw the dog I bred with, I I was starstruck. I was like, wow, you know that dog was is that possible? That dog was so amazing to me, you know. But after I had his litter, I started studying other dogs that he bred too, and started noticing other things that cosmetic flaws here and there that they have, and then compared it to my litter, and kind of did a somewhat of a process of elimination of what I got from him as far as good and bad, and what I got from my dog as far as good and bad. You
And
know,
and and to that point there, unfortunately, no dog is perfect, right? So you always going to, and when people don't understand even the genetic part of this thing, is the reason why non-dogs all look different, and it's because it's pulling from so many factors that you can literally carry in some things that you didn't even see in the dog. And this is almost, old days, we'd want to go back and see grandma and grandpa. We'd want to go back and see almost every dog possible, within at least the first two, grandfather, grandma, definitely mom and dad, and even their grandma and grandpa, because you're going to pull some percentages from each one of these dogs, and you want to basically have a good idea of what type of issues you're potentially investing in. So when Rudy's talking about time too, these dogs are like stock, and objectively, your stock is to go up. Now the problem is when you add the wrong dog, that stock depreciates because you, as a breeder and someone who's sincere about the breed, like you say, you're in love with it. You don't want to breed defects, defaults, and problems. Therefore, you're like, damn, what am I gonna do with this dog? Because you don't even want to give a dog that doesn't have great conformation away. And it's funny because people send me dogs all the time. Say, look at this dog. I'm like, you looking from a consumer standpoint. So to you, the dog looks good. I'm looking from a breeding standpoint. That dog's trash. And no disrespect to the breeders, a lot of times, it's like it's just trash. So you understand the value of investing that time, energy into seeing every component. I think one of the guys the other day is about to spend 11,000 on a dog, and he said that he's flying down there. He said, I'm willing to take an L on the deposit because the pups ain't here, but he's flying to Florida actually, and it's a different breeder down there he found, just to take a look at the dog in person, the parents. And if the parents don't look like something he wants, or he's like, this could not be, might not turn out the way he thinks it is, because like Rudy's talking about that picture, a great picture, it tells a story. Unfortunately, in real life, just like these Instagram models, you get
yeah.
it. You see him in real life. You say, "Oh wow, you don't look nothing like them filtered ass pictures." And
Oh,
some people have mastered capturing their dog in a way. So, from my understanding, and Rudy and I, we've been in contact for some time now. At least a year and some change at this moment in time. We talk, here and there about the dogs, what he's doing, his vision. We share stuff. He's at a starter place, I think, like definitely like myself in terms of restarting. And some people I've reached out to and we've talked. We're all kind of starting even over to do it right, because I don't think early on some of us saw the full potential in terms of the opportunity. He's been reading, breeding dogs, or knowing about him since he was 7. I'm right in that same boat. um, had 5 dogs at 19, and had this whole vision mapped out of what I was going to do. And life set in, and I moved to Arizona, sold all but one, had one litter, and but I know the science, and I had this, but it takes time. and it takes a lot of energy and a lot of effort. How important would you say kennel partners are?
They're very important. You if you do make a decision to partner up with somebody in a kennel, it's a decision that you it takes time. It's just something that you can't just go ahead and just grab somebody. Hey, let's do this together because you don't know the love for them. You don't know what how they're gonna respond in struggle. The struggle shows people real colors. So it's you really gotta be careful. It's just it's a possibility. Yeah, it's yeah. You can make it happen, but it's just something that you gotta take your time and and make sure that it's the right decision for you. You know.
Talk to them a little bit about the terrier being the foundation of your program. And people, the program is something that you build on. People start in the fitness world arm programs based on trying to add size, mass, and all and shape, right? So that, hey, you do this to round off or chest, right? You build a program based on a foundation of a movement, like a push-up to bench to a plated press to dumbbell bench. In this case, you find a specimen, aka female, and you build on her. So Rudy, tell us about your terrier and the terrier for you being your choice of foundation dog.
Well, she's my foundation dog because she's a classic. Classic is the amendment of the breed. It's where it started. Then it broke in different avenues and went into different classes. You know, nowadays there's not a well balance. Not everywhere, but there's overall the balance is a little off. The reason I went with a classic is because I feel that I can filter out a lot of different things with her. I can grab a dog that's very massive, very has this that I like, has that. I can I know guarantee I'm gonna get with her being a classic, nice feet, you know, nice muzzle, as far as life, health, as far as breathing, overheating, other stuff that affects the breed today. Um, it's just sometimes people just don't balance the blood well. Just they just put too much in one side and then forget about the other. And then I just feel that me going with the classic is just a filter. It's just me having a filter, and then whatever that filter produces, I can go from there. But it gives me the ability to build on top of it. I can always build on top of it. It's not like I plateau. I got two massive dogs. Then I get a dog that's a train wreck, but he looks great in picture. That's it. I can't really, I can't build on top of that dog. I got to go back down.
Yeah,
That's the way I look at it. With her, anything I do, I can always build on top of it. There's always room for me to fix or grow. You know.
yeah. And what made you
Uh,
come up with the authentic bullies? How did you come to that conclusion?
Well, just because she's a classic and she's the original amendment, it's the authentic look. It's the look that first started, the look that first, got the name of American Bully. Then from there it kind of branched off and went up in size, down in size and height and weight. So she's to me the authentic look. She's really that's basically it.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Well, what are some things that you would, if you could pass some tips along, some information? I know that your first breeding, you got not your first breeding, but objectively your first breeding in terms of setting yourself up for success. Stud fees nowadays are outrageous, right?
Yeah,
And
they are.
and I saw that you. I mean, I know what the listed price for
Yeah,
Kane's stud fee is, and he's got his Oscar. So in the pit bull world or bully world, people, if your dog gets grand champed out, then normal that's like having an Oscar, which means the price goes up, which also means the dog has notoriety, and notoriety, like anything, it brings a different level of equity to your yard as well. So his equity is relatively high. What I know you say you saw the dog and you were like starstruck, but what were you hoping he would add based on the bossy blood where he comes from, knowing the breeder who's a great guy, and then also taking a close look at the dog. What were you hoping that he would add to your yard?
hoping that he would add size, bone, head, which he did. With her, me putting, I was hoping she would add more tightness, more agility, more flexibility, and for most of the part, I accomplished what I wanted out of the dog. I mean, as far as your opinion with Zara, she's a nice, well sized. She's a nice bone, and she can move. She's very intelligent, and you can add on her. You can
Yeah.
go direction you want. Not every dog you got all these avenues to go through, and that's why I like the bitch I chose as my foundation bitch.
Yeah.
But Kane, the owner, his whole program, they were great. I was blessed. I got a steal as far as Stuffy. I kind of started following the dog before he was a champion, before he was really promoted. He really, gave me a great price, and and I'm really, really, really grateful, because
How important would you say is promoting your dog? Because that's the other part where social media is coming in handy for some people. Because some of them, like Khan, he sent out Rocco's semen 170 times at $10,000 a rack. That's quite a bit of loot per se, um,
mm-hmm.
to be sitting at your house and taking your dog to see the doctor. Once a week or once so many weeks or whatnot. And because technically, I know people don't probably understand the numbers unless they're in the dog space, but a female only needs about 2 cc's of semen to really get pregnant, which isn't a lot. And if your dog is a shooter, he dropping way more than that every time.
That's right. That's right. If he was a producer, he's gonna have a lot of swimmers. And my dog, I was expecting six, and I went and got the sonogram. She only had it showed seven. When she had pups, she had nine.
So
So
I'm glad you brought up sonogram. How important is having the sonogram? Because I think that's the part that I think some people are missing too. When you start selling these dogs for 3,500, $5,000, hell, even $10,000. I've seen some people go as far as putting the puppies in incubators for breathing and oxygen, and then in your case where you're doing a sonogram, which can range from $200 to $600 for the sonogram. Then when you're
right,
doing AI, artificial things, they're charging you $90 for progesterone testing
right,
at your place. Which, if they don't know what that is, then you turn around and your girl has a date where her numbers are real high, and you want to catch her on the drop objectively. And when she's dropping, she can drop real fast, which means you've got 48 hours. And it has to scientifically be done right because we're not backyard breeding. We want to guarantee this shit. Then if we make a mistake, we have to wait a whole another 6 months. So
right.
so when how important is a sonogram?
It just gives you a lot of accuracy. It gives you're able to control more. Just like you said, you check her levels. You're able to have more of a control of what's going on. You make a sonogram. You're expecting seven pups. You prepare yourself for seven pups, because I had nine, and it was a lot. It's not easy, dog. When you have a litter, whelping, and the whole process is just it's a lot of work. As far as having to feed them every 2 hours, and the maintenance that it comes with. So it's just a way of being able to really, really, really prepare yourself. And and then if you can prepare yourself, you can prevent anything to go wrong.
And
Or have
you did a natural birth or C-section?
No, I had a C-section. And the reason I had the C-section was because I wanted a guarantee that everybody survived, as well as the dog. It was my first, like I said, big breeding, and I didn't want any. I wanted,
Issues.
yeah, I didn't want no issues. I want leak, seal any leaks. So I did it the black and white way. I didn't want no gray areas.
So starters for the starter people, just walk them through a few numbers. Sonogram costs how much?
The sonogram was around 200 ish. I don't remember off the top of my head. C section was around 1700, 1700. And basically the food and everything else. The whole breeding, I want to say, with the stud feed, it was around six grand, more or less. And then you got the maintenance of feeding the dog. You got the time. You got the care. You got the promotion. You got the ads, and and everything else. Like back to what you said, it's very important, like to promote your dogs to get them
Yeah.
out there.
Look, I get it, man. Look, so I want to make sure people understand that this, that backyard breeding, that fun stuff's cool for your friends. But when you are trying to build a brand or establish a bloodline, even which Rudy is definitely trying to do and wants to do, we don't idolize any of the people. We appreciate what they've done. I think some people have set the bar. The beauty about these dogs is the bar is always moving, like just like an athlete in life, right? Everything's always moving forward. So we get a chance to study pedigrees, the intention of the breed. The problem, for me with the bully, American bully, is it's still not established as a breed, in my opinion, in terms of the look. And boom, I just saw an interview, I think, a couple weeks ago where Dave was talking about where they actually studied the XL. So they've got this idea between this time frame now. This is what, and then some of that can be moved because they're this big at this space. So they're still creating parameters um, for the breed itself as they establish what it's to look like and what it's supposed to be. But for the breeders who are starting out, you're talking about $7,000 to $10,000 roughly if you go all in on your first breeding.
Yeah. If you.
At least.
Yep.
At least. And so when you're selling your dogs, then you know, lightest pick for 2,200. You guys got to understand it takes a lot, and going back to him talking about kennel partners, I had 5 dogs at one time. It's exhausting. These two are wearing me out now.
They will. They'll do that to you.
They- exactly, man. Um, is there anything that you think you're missing or we're missing or that people need to know? Again, all I could say is, I reached out to Rudy. He was very receptive. Part of my reason for starting this channel is to connect people to great breeders and people who communicate. I'm always appreciative of him getting back to me at some point. We're all busy people. We're only interested in the dogs and the dogs' well-being. So our intentions are the same, even if the vision, he's got this XL, boom, perfect XL dog. Love the vision. I got one from him because it was right in between. Like he said, I could utilize her either way. I could make I could put her with an XL, and I think I produced some crazy stuff because she could feed into her genetics. Um, or I could put her with the standard and just keep tightening things up. And that's why I was, and then colors, aesthetics, all these things matter. People love a pretty dog, and there are people who've even seen Zara and be like, it's hard to look at Bossy anymore because I just think Zara looks better than those dogs, because she's just that good looking to people. It's almost like a Nala, depending on who's seen it in real life. So when you're looking at what Rudy's accomplished in a short amount of time, I do admire it. Like I said, him and I communicate all the time. I've got a standard vision. He's got an XL vision. I do think even in the future, the visions are going to continue to work together and come together and find a way to be. But is there anything that you think that we're missing here?
Um, I mean, going back to what you asked me, if there's anything I can tell the public,
Yeah.
is just um, treat the breed with honesty, and let's get it to where it's kind of like the Rottweiler. You compare different type of Rottweilers, and they pretty much all look the same. German
Every last one.
poodles, you know. We're in this breed where you can have a dog that looks way different from the other, and they're all both considered American bullies. Let's just stay consistent with a certain look. Hopefully, the registry um, puts their sense into it,
Those
and
parameters.
yeah, because we need to just have one blueprint.
And
Have,
think about that for a second. That's something else that I think we should discuss slightly. Every major person at the top has created their own, they've branched out and created their own identity in terms of registration. And it's because there was never foundationally rules to the American Bully. I just learned something a little bit ago about the Shorty Bull, I believe. And this shorty bull, within 3 years to four, has its own identity. It has its own registration. It is, not its own registration, but it could be registered under the ABKC, and I think maybe one other. But point is they identified certain things that make the dog a shorty bull, and all the dogs look the same. So
Right.
mind you, this has been going on for 20 years now on the ABKC, and they still don't know. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he said something that I didn't get into it with him, but I just let it go. but
Right.
but he said, well, it started with. I said, so I just asked. I said, did your dog have bulldog in it? And he goes, well, it started with bulldog or pit bull terrier. And I go, you like, no, it didn't. But whatever you say, brother. And let me be very clear to people. There's nothing wrong at this moment in time in having bulldog in your dog. The problem is bulldogs carry a lot more issues with them, breathing, nose, and all this other stuff. And if you come from a pit bull space, the people who are true pit bull people know at one time there was no fucking blue pit bulls. If you then somebody showed me a tri blue, I don't know what that ain't no fucking pit bull, no fucking tri blue. That's a goddamn Rottweiler. You start going out, and then we on this Merle shit, and you
Yeah.
go, what the fuck is that? And so real pit bull people were like we're almost like we're so protective of the pit bull back in the day, especially where we knew what a pit bull was, and if anything, especially colors, we just not having it. We just not having it. So nowadays, there's two sides of the business, and one side is the consumer, which is what Cat does a great job of, Bossy. Yeah, let's make sure people have Merles. Let's make sure they have trans. Let's make sure they have all these beautiful colors, right? Because that's what people buy aesthetically. But then when you start talking about the show dogs and things, it's unfortunate those parameters still ain't set. But there are great dogs like Ruger, like Paco, um, and other dogs that I've researched over the years that the bear, blue,
Bear.
yeah,
Bear.
that just look like if that was an American bully, they look and Oscar Gomez's Mufasa, you know, these dogs have no bulldog in them, and it took
Even
the huh?
Remy the Remy Remy
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Remy
We're talking
Remy.
about that old good old razor's edge blood. So we're in a space now where they're adding a lot of things like Rudy's talking about to and everything's an American bully, be it exotic. They let this exotic stuff get out of control, in my opinion. All the way to the XLs, adding Pressa, adding great. I mean, just adding anything to make these dogs bigger and bigger and less conformed. Then you got the droopy lips and the slobbering even. And I'm like, bro, I'm not selling. I wouldn't wish slobbering on my worst enemy. So I'm not selling no dog to nobody that fucking slobbers. I could live with it having some food left over, but that straight lying down your leg, it's not happening. It's not happening. So the confirmation is something that Rudy and I always talk about, and studying the pedigree. We, we,
Right.
we, we go back, we talk about that quite a bit. And this the other day, I told him one of the dogs he sent me like has raccoons in his pedigree. so,
Yeah.
because you get one great dog, another good dog, and then what the hell happened here? Then oh
Yeah.
wow, that still took place. Jesus, we got to this point, and they're still guessing at it because some people do what they think they doing what they can do versus what needs to be done. And the one thing that you need to do in this game is take your time. is is take your time, and the beauty about it is you shouldn't even breed a girl till she's had at least 3 heats, which means she's roughly going to be 2 years old. Um, females open up your yard, males close off your yard. Make sure that you know exactly what the person you're getting a dog from is doing on their yard as well, because that could sometimes be an issue. And as he was saying before, not understanding genetics, phenome, genome, all that stuff. Some of your dogs have some stuff in it that's gonna come out. You'll be like, damn, I didn't know it had those problems.
Right. Yeah.
Other things we talked about the other day too, when we was messaging back and forth. But I personally hate that the bully doesn't have a true identity yet.
Right.
I do wish I knew what I was working with because I see so many bullies and they all look so different. They
Yeah. I went to my first show. I want to say about a week ago, and it was so much different. They were all, most of them are all beautiful dogs, you know, but there was so much different like looks that it's like, you know, I bet if you go to a show where they show Rottweilers or they show any other breed, you know, it's just probably different. Yeah, it's all yeah,
It's a straight line.
yeah,
It's a
and that,
straight line, and I felt the same way. I went to a light show here, and I was wowed. I was literally wowed at what the hell was like. What's so? What is this dog? This is a bully. I got into
right,
it with another guy the other day. He was saying, my buddy just picked up a bully. He showed me a picture. I said, man, ain't no bully. He was
right.
like, he said it's a bully. I said, well, he's wrong. Okay, he's wrong. He's wrong. It's not a fucking bully. Okay, he's lying to you.
My cousin was like, "Yo, your boy from high school, he bought a bully," and I saw the dog in the social media, and it was a fucking exotic. I told him, I was like, "No, no, 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 no." He said he bought a Frenchie. Told me he bought a Frenchie. I was like, "Who?" And then he was like, "Your boy." And then I started brainstorming. I was like, "Yeah, I seen the dog. It's not no Frenchie. It's a exotic." But the dog was a pup, and it looked like a Frenchie, but the next post was the dad, and the dad was an exotic. So it's like, you know, what's going on? Like, you know, it's just pulling from a big pool of genes that has everything. You know, has dwarfism, Frenchie, has pit bull, has bulldog. You know, and it's just, you know, it's the look's never going to be consistent.
Yeah. So let's make sure that people understand where we're coming from. Right now, people, there are two things that we love about a great dog. Definitely one is intelligence. The other is health. I love those two things at the forefront and foundationally. Rudy's got a dog who's intelligent. I have a dog who's intelligent. We're building dogs in lines over here at Fit Bully. We've got what we call a line of health and a line of intelligence. Zara's my intelligence. Dougie's dog, Nova, who's Pit Bull, UKC, Purple Ribbon, got a strong genetic background, pedigree in a sense on that side. That's our line of health. Zara's healthy too as well, but again, we got health, intelligence on top of more health. And then we
Right.
start. And then I'm gonna start bringing in some of these other dogs. And I jumped on the phone with a group of people or new level bulls who who use Rocco's son Deadpool, and I wanted to hear about. I said, "Yo, let me walk me through everything that he did for you guys in terms of the dog, because he's young still, so he's only had a few litters, which means he doesn't have enough background. And I was going to go that route, but I'm concerned oftentimes about the health, the health, the health, and the health. That's so important to me to keep and maintain a healthy dog, and Rudy feels the same way. And in this pit bull world, when people are trying to create, or well, bully world, where they're creating freaks, why is Bossy Kennel so consistent? Because she found a niche, and her niche, for one, is making sure you have a good dog. For two, all dogs are anywhere from 90 to 130 plus pounds. I don't think she sells a dog or has a dog listed on her page that's under 90 pounds, not even a female for that
No.
matter.
Um,
And the majority of them are all XLs, which means they're over 17 inches, so they're between 19 and 20 some inches at the shoulder, correct? And so that's a tall ass dog for the size. Normally you get a good chest, great feet, consistent structure. She's got crazy facilities, and she's got 4 or 5 different locations where her dogs are distributed out of. So she found a way to she brought her vision to life, and that's what she's going to do. Whether she's in the ABKC, UKC, or AK, whatever she's doing, she's got the thing that she does. And then Rudy and I follow guys like Terrell, and as you talked about Oscar Gomez, and then you take a look at Blue, or you take a look at the Denzels, and none of those dogs look the same. And these are all dogs who've been grand champed out, who've
right.
won, and some of them have been doing it for 20 years. So 20 years, and if you talk about all the top five dogs, Ruger, Paco, Blue, Bear, uh, what's it called? What's it called? Another one he always talks about, and some other ones I've seen. None of them look the same. So,
Talks a lot about Mufasa
Mufasa,
too.
yeah, none of them look the same. So you go,
So
you
we
just be,
need.
you just be real confused sometimes, real confused. These are the top people, man. These are the top people. Suarez Bulls. These are people that you want to study who understand the bully, but there's no unity. And it's okay if there's no uniformity in something where everything has to be the same and we're all wearing the same uniform. But objectively, if I put five rots on stage, I'm going to know, there's parameters that they're looking for to identify with these, ticks. Like, hey, he didn't have this, and that, and that's why this dog won. And so when the average eye is looking at the rod at the AKC show, you go, okay, it was five of them. How come that one won? They know why. Well, you might not understand what the dog's missing. In the bullet world, it just looked like this. Oh, that dog won. Well, that's interesting. Then another show, the next dog could win. You say, well, why did that dog win? Why did he lose this one? It just
No, mommy.
the lack of consistency. So, man, is there anything else you think they're missing, man?
No, I mean, pretty much, it sums it all. Follow my Instagram, Authentic Bullies. I'm looking for doing this for a very long time, and I'm just trying to, be part of a great movement. Uh,
Absolutely, man. A lot of opportunity out here in the dog space. Rudy's got some dogs that understands the importance of putting those dogs in homes, and that's kind of what I started. Same thing. I wanted 100 homes, if not 100,000, to have Champs. Champ's a great dog, and I know what a dog can do for a day and a person and a life. So when you produce some great quality dogs, great attitudes, good temperaments, highly intelligent, remember this is a working breed, so you need to get out and exercise them. You need to get out and exercise yourself. Stay moving objectively. Um, Definitely gonna have your whole thing in here the whole time, so people know. Follow Authentic Bullies. Check out his stuff. I'm telling you guys, Rudy Khan. He hit you right back. I was a high pressure person when I first reached out to him. I said, "Yo, call me, bro. Call, call me, man."
FaceTime. I want to see videos. Yeah,
I was,
I'm good, man. I'm all about customer service as well. I'm trying to improve my game as much as I can. It is a learning process to me, but I do work in the field of being customer people. So I'm customer friendly. You can ask me all the questions you want. Just hit my Instagram, authentic underscore bully, and
and so last thing, we'll cut it off with this one. That part right there. There's a lot of people in the dog space that don't respond. Got this amazing, beautiful dog, and they don't want to communicate. They don't want to jump on the phone. They don't want to talk about their own dogs. Hell, you trying to give them money, and they don't want to have a discussion. You go, you like, look, I'm sitting over here with 5 racks.
right.
Yo cheapest pick was 3. I got 5 willing to give you that, but pick up the phone. Let me see it, Joker.
Give me a reason to spend my money with you. Exactly. Like, you know.
How many times have you ran into that problem thus far?
As far as, I mean, I answer messages even if it's not about
No,
sales.
not talking you. I'm talking about you reaching
Oh,
out to people.
I've been hanging for months. From other breeders, that I'm ready to like ask them a simple question: how much for his stud fee? What is his pedigree? I'm showing them beautiful dogs that I have that I'm down to breed with.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm not, I'm putting out there that I'm bringing something to the table. I'm not trying to waste your time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But some people just, they get stuck. I don't know. I guess in the clout. And people are very humble. Some people will answer, talk to you. And then there's people that will charge you, but they'll they'll deliver.
So
And
hold on, hold on. They'll charge you to talk to them.
I had somebody. I didn't pay, but I asked a few questions, and they were like, "I do consultations at this price," which I don't
Consultations about their dogs.
about dogs. You send them videos, you send them pictures. You have about your dog, or like raw feeding or whatever you're trying to learn. And you may like the content they put on YouTube, or you may like whatever they're producing.
Mm-hmm.
You break the ice, you hit them up, and then hey, consultations are at $50, which I still respect, because as long as I'm getting what I'm asking for, and you're delivering what I'm, and you answer all my questions, and I mean, it's all right. I paid, but I got what I wanted. But
Yeah.
some people will flat out give you the time of the day. You know, and then some of these people get stuck in jam, and I've done GoFundMe account in their Instagram, and people donate, and me myself, I've donated, and then when you DM them, they won't respond. So it's like you want support from the audience, but you can't take time out to answer a few questions, and I've sent emails,
Hey,
and so don't.
Rudy again knows I'm a high pressure person. So 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 one of the things is look, check this out. The people that I talked to the other day, look, I'll send them a message. I sent them a voice memo the next day, and I seen this. I said, "Hey, look, I seen you seen that message." I said, "I told you I want to talk to you about what them dogs is doing." Call my line, and I left the number. She was like, "My husband." She's my husband's not off work yet. He's gonna call you when he get off. That joker called me 30, 40 minutes later. I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm just not. I have certain questions I hate with the passion when people don't respond. And I'm okay with someone saying, hey, I'm not interested. I could live with that. But just same thing you talking about. You go out of your way, you talk to people, you support them, you send them some money, or you like liking and sharing their stuff or whatnot, even for that matter, because that's a dollar too. Somebody might see someone and be like, yo, I cop such and such. It matters, man. So I'm telling them right now, I'm putting the pressure on. You're gonna have to tell me you wanna block me or give me
Right,
some answers. That's the bottom line.
right. No, I understand, man, and it's a community, and we just need to be a little bit better on that.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
about.
Absolutely, man. Well, look, as Rudy, we're about to sign off on this, man. I'm gonna keep rapping with you, but I appreciate your time, man. I appreciate you you helping or these, definitely jumping on this thing, man. Football TV is gonna come, and I think it's gonna help a lot of people. There's a lot of questions that we're always answering, and I always don't find the answers that we're looking for, right? So we do all this research, even, and in the research, we're like, oh wow, and then we follow and listen to Terrell quite a bit. He's one of those people who's always speaking to the breed and the dogs and different issues, and I think Khan's jumped up there and did some things, but there's just a lot of info that I think is missing about the dogs, and I want to
Yeah.
be able to help close some of that gap. So that's what this is for, people. T Fit Bully TV. We signing off.